Live, I'm on. Hey everybody. Thanks for joining me. My name is Johan Harvey. I'm the Director of Development for Harvey Steele here in Athens, Georgia. And I'm going to talk a little bit today about what's going to be an ongoing course here that I'm calling SEO and So Can You. It's about search engine optimization, and part one is going to be about demystifying SEO. I've received a lot of questions and comments through social media and by email over the past few weeks about SEO specifically, and I'd like to address some of those today. So before I begin, thank you very much to everybody that contributed their real-life SEO issues to me, over my social media page and elsewhere, just helping me to get this session together. And thank you very much to the Rebel Society for hosting this session. It's a fantastic platform and a fantastic community. So I'm going to start over here. And I hope you can read my chicken scratch here, but I'm going to start with a very unsurprisingly common question: what is SEO? And to many people have found it's this very elusive, mysterious field, SEO. It's known by only this elite few people, kind of like playing drums for me. Like, how do you do that? It's just this group of super cool, clairvoyant geeks that just kind of know what's going on and have this telepathic communication with search engines. But everybody knows that it's immensely important to getting seen online, and that it costs a lot of money for who knows what. So here we go. Search engine optimization is the process of optimizing your website so that it can be seen more easily by search engines. But you already know that part. And we've come a long way since the days of Alta Vista, which was actually one of the first web search engines. It was launched in 1994. And back then, if you wanted to rank for the search term frogs, you just typed in the word frogs into a web page hundreds of times over, frogs, and you had the most hits, and so you became number one. It's come a long way since then. Tons and tons of research today goes into updating these algorithms, behind search engines like Bing, Yahoo, and of course Google, the number one website in the world, which I'll be referring to the most today. And it can be difficult keeping up with what these search engines deem important, this holy grail of elusive online visibility. So suffice it to say that just on that tip, today there's little merit in trying to trick Google or Yahoo or Bing into ranking your website, by, say, taking your competitors' search term, their names and locations that you want to rank for, and just plugging them into a web page somewhere, just on some back-end page and hoping that you're going to rank for them. That can actually be really detrimental to your rank, so don't do it. Not only are search engines getting really smart in figuring out that you're trying to dupe them just by plugging in those terms somewhere, but more importantly, just all those terms in a row, it gets interpreted today as just meaningless context that's hard to understand. It doesn't make sense. It's not engaging to anyone, and that's going to hurt your rank more than anything else. So don't do it. As far as ranking against your competitors, that's a whole different talk, and something that I'll address in a course later down the road. So at this time, I'd like to take a moment and answer a question from Ed Foley, who reached out to me over my Facebook profile, and he asked, is SEO an ongoing process, or is it a set and forget? And the best that I can answer that is a resounding yes. It's a process. As the world changes, as your audience changes and who you're trying to reach changes, as culture changes, as your products and your services change, as search engines change, SEO is a garden that needs tending to. It needs trimming and growing and trimming and growing. And even if you're in a stagnant industry, there's always room for improvement with whatever SEO strategy you're trying to implement. You can always just look at your metrics that you're taking in from the traffic to your website, why it's coming in, and refine your strategy to increase whatever growth goals you've got there. So thanks for the great question, Ed. I hope that helps. But yeah, SEO is definitely a process. Certainly not a set and forget at all. So moving on, how do search engines rank your site? And we'll get into the meat and potatoes really soon on this side of the board as to how you can do a couple of things to help your website get ranked. But today, there are teams and teams of people behind search engines that are applying MLR, or machine learning research, to the artificial intelligence behind search engines. There are well over 200 attributes that can go into contributing to the rank of a website, but I'll talk about just a few of the big players that you need to be aware of. So first of all, genuine content. And let me say this, understanding language is at the very heart of machine learning for search engines today. Google's teams take specific interest in being able to detect syntax, sentiment analysis, context, discourse, summarization, question answering, what the text in a website is trying to convey and where it's coming from. It's the most important thing to them, so it really should be the most important thing to you. So above all else, if your website contains real, genuine, meaningful, engaging content that's bringing in visitors to engage it for a long time across multiple pages, then SEO isn't something that you do. It's just something that will happen. So that's the most important thing of all. The second thing on here is backlinks. And what backlinks are is when an external website, not your own, links to your website. They take the time to say, hey, there's this cool resource that you guys need to check out, and they link to your website, driving traffic to your site because they think you have good content that needs to be shared. And pretty much as an absolute rule, the more backlinks you have out there from other sites driving traffic to your own site, the better your SEO rank will be, and it will shoot up in search results. So if there's something to be said as well about the quality of those backlinks, if they're coming from more credible, more popular and more trusted websites, that's going to help your rank a lot more than if it's from a newer or just less credible site. So if you really want to rank against your competitors, go and get your backlinks from your industry leaders, and you'll shoot up against your competitors there. So next thing on here is mobile first. That's something that Google implemented back in May 2016. And what it means is that sites that are optimized for mobile devices and tablets and desktops and laptops and pretty much everything in between are going to rank much more highly than sites that are only desktop friendly and don't optimize for mobile devices. Just with the growing undeniable rise of mobile as increasingly the majority of how people surf the web, it's suffice to say that at this point, by the end of 2017, if your site isn't optimized for mobile, it's going to be pretty much invisible. So if it's something you haven't considered, now is most definitely the time. And then the fourth thing that I'll talk about on here is RankBrain, and I'll be really brief about that. But RankBrain is the name of Google's search algorithm. It's their AI, it's their artificial intelligence, and it's the closest thing that search engines have to Terminator's Skynet. It knows what you're thinking before you type it in. It knows what you're trying to search for before you do that kind of scary stuff. But I've included a link in the description of this video with a really cool article about RankBrain and what it looks for, what it thinks about, what's going into it to improve it. And it's a bit of a deep read, but even at a glance of just scrolling through that article, it's pretty enlightening. So definitely check that out. Really cool geeky stuff. So that's the main bites of how search engines rank for your site. And I'm going to move over to this other side of the board here and talk about pretty much why you're here. I'm not a geek. How do I SEO thingy my website? So here you are. You've made it this far. You're a solopreneur, you're a CEO, you're a small to medium business owner, you're a freelancer, and you want me to tell you how to increase the rank of your website, increase your SEO. Well, that's fantastic, because that's why I'm here too. So here are a couple of cool, free, pretty easy and immediate steps that you can take to 10xing your rank right now, regardless of your industry. And just before I jump into this, let me just say that if you find this stuff a bit dicey, or you need me to expand on something that I've gone through here, feel free to please get in touch with me personally, and I'd love to be able to help you out further. So the first thing on here, Google Analytics, or similar. So at the heart of SEO, at the very soul of search engine optimization, is being able to track your metrics and analyze the traffic that's coming into your website. So there are a few cool tools out there to do this, but to me, the best free or freemium one out there is Google Analytics, and it's easy. So the first thing you need is a Gmail account. So if you've got one, then you're already set to go. You just go into your Gmail account, click in the right top corner and access Google Analytics, and you're good to go. It'll ask you for a couple of things, namely your website URL, a couple of data sharing options, and that's it. It instantly spits out something called a tracking ID, and you take that tracking ID and it gives you instructions to add that to your website. Essentially what it is, it's a snippet of code that you add to your site, and it immediately starts tracking data back to Google. Now I know it said code, and I know that can scare a few people there, but honestly the instructions are pretty straightforward. And if you're a WordPress user like I am, there are some cool tools out there. There's an amazing free plugin out there called Google Analytics Dashboard, and I've added that link to the description of this video as well. And it pretty much does it for you. And what you'll see is over the next couple of days, you just start receiving reports of data, awesome data. Data like where visitors are coming from to your site, why they're coming to your site, how they found you, their age, their demographics, their geographics, their behaviors online, how long they spend on a page, how many pages they visit when they do come to your website. I mean, just it's such valuable data. I mean, me just saying this right now should make you open up a new tab and go get you some Google Analytics on your website, because it's cool stuff. Yeah, it definitively lets you see what's working on your website and where your weaknesses lie, and it is the bastion of any SEO strategy to growing on your website moving forward. So that's the first step. Just get Google Analytics or similar. The second thing that I've said on here is help search engines help you. And what I mean by that is search engines are working to understand what's on your website on a very real level. What are you trying to say? What are you trying to give? And how does that relate to search terms that people are plugging in by the millions every single day? And there are a few things that you can do to help them understand where you're coming from that are just going to increase your rank significantly. So the first thing I've said here is structure your content. And what I mean by that is, if you've ever used a word processor, or if you run your own blog, now you know that there are different types of text that you can select. There's paragraph text, just your normal kind of readable text. There's title text that comes up big as a giant bold font as a title. And specifically with websites and blogs, there's heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, all the way through heading 6 of, just decreasing sizes of title text. Use these. Not only does it help people to understand what's on the site because it's well structured, but search engines read them and they use them to understand the context of what's coming and what keywords you're trying to rank for. It just really increases the rank on your web page by helping search engines to understand what's on that page. So rather than just plain text, make sure you go through and structure that if possible, because it's only going to help search engines understand you. Write page descriptions. Now, no matter what website builder you've used, there's a good chance that you're able to go in and customize the title of every page on your website, and it takes just a few minutes, and if you haven't done it already, you really should. It helps search engines to understand what's on that page in a concise description, but also it's what comes up in search results. And I know you know what I'm talking about, because when you type in something into Google or Yahoo and it comes up with some search results, you'll see some of those pages and their descriptions as being something like the first 150 characters and then truncated by ... And what it does there is, if you don't set a page description, then search engines will just take the first text on that page and make that the description, and then ... And that usually isn't the most concise thing you could be putting out to people that find you in search results. So if you keep it to a short, concise description, not only do search engines understand you better, but if I come across your site, I understand exactly what's on that page before I visit it, and that'll hopefully attract the click to come and visit because they know what's there before they get there. Moving on to use image alt tags, and bear with me here. So alt tags and where they come from originally are from screen readers. devices that didn't bring up images. You know, for people that just had these devices that wouldn't load images, there was something that you could add called alt text, alternate text, so that it would help people understand what was going on a website if they just couldn't see images. So I know that, again, if you run your own website or you run your own blog, you know that when you upload an image, there's all kinds of fields. There's usually the title of the image, there's a description, there's a caption, and there's one called the alt tag. So screen readers aside, that's exactly what search engines use to make sense of images. Search engines don't understand images. They don't know what's going on in a picture unless you tell them using this alt tag. There is image recognition software out there, but it's not used by search engines to understanding the context of what's on a web page. So take the time to alt tag every image on your website. It will blow up your rank by a huge amount by helping search engines understand what's going on. Your company logo, a product, a service, honestly anything, your storefront. By helping search engines understand what's going on in an image, it'll help them understand what's going on your web page as well. So that's going to help you a huge amount. Just take the time and do it. It will really help, and I think you'll see some really significant changes if you do so. The third thing on here is use Webmaster Tools, and these work pretty much the same way as Google Analytics that I just went on about. They're quick, they're easy, and they're free to get started. So on here, I've just put Google Search Console, Bing Webmaster Tools, and Alexa. They take a few minutes each, but don't skimp on any of these. Don't just do one and not do the others. If you do Google, make sure you do Bing. Don't skip on Bing. Bing is what drives all of Siri's searches, so that's hugely important, and Alexa is massive as well. And so it's the same thing where you sign up for free to start, and then you give them your website URL, a bit more data, and again, it just spits out a bit of code at you that you implement in the same way as Google Analytics, and quick, easy steps. Again, if you have questions about that, come to me after this video. And here's what you're rewarded with. You're able to send a tiny bit of code to these websites called sitemaps, and what those sitemaps do, these little XML files, they help search engines understand the content on your website, how it's structured, and how often your site data is updated, and all of those contribute to rank in a huge way. If you look at search results, sometimes when you type in a company name and it comes up with the search result of the company's homepage, underneath that you'll see a submenu in the searches, in the organic search results of the different pages on that site, with short descriptions as well. That's the result of sending a sitemap to search engines. And again, when that comes up in a search result, as a user, it just takes up a lot more space on the page. It helps me to see what's going on a site, and it helps me to just shoot over to a page that's more important to me than just the home page. And that's just going to help traffic come to your site because people understand what's going on. The second, and to me much more important thing today that these three tools have implemented, is that you get to go in and you get to associate your social media pages with your website and submit that information. So everything that's going on your Facebook page, on your Instagram page, on your Twitter feed, you can attribute to your website and help Google understand that. And those search engines will use the organic content on your social media pages to help your organic rank for your website by joining it all together. It's immensely valuable, so go and do it. And again, it only takes a few minutes if you go ahead and take the time. So those are the three steps that I really find to be the most important that you can just do right now to your website to increase rank. And I'll give you a little bonus tip that's sitting up here. And I said 3, but here's number 4. Use more video. Video, the undisputed king of digital marketing today. Search engines love video. When people watch video on your website, 1, having video simply embedded on your website increases your rank today. And 2, people watching video, say they sit on your website homepage and they watch a video for 90 seconds. That's 90 seconds that they wouldn't have spent there just scrolling around at some content. They're just watching something which search engines interpret as meaningful, engaging content. So the more video you put on your site and the more that engages people, the more that's going to shoot your rank up. videos have been shown to shoot your rank online up by 50x. So just use more video. That's a bonus hot tip there. And I think that's it for my first session on SEO, and so can you. And at this point, I'd like to open up the floor to any questions that might have come in, or if there's anything that I can expand upon or help to clarify out of that. Is there anything out there? I had some questions actually before the session that I'll go ahead and grab here and help answer those as well. Where are those? Here we go. So I got a question from Jeremiah Culler. Actually, two questions, and I'll help answer both of those. His first question was about organic SEO versus paid SEO. And so I want to make a distinction between those two to help answer that question, Jeremiah. By the way, miss you, dude. I hope you're watching, and if so, would love to catch up with you soon, man. It's been a while. He's a great guy. So organic versus paid SEO. So what I've addressed today is organic SEO, search engine optimization, and paid SEO, or PPC, or pay-per-click, is an entirely different realm. That's about paid campaigns to get you into ad spaces in search engines, like the sponsored ads that are at the top of those search engine results that precede the organic search results. They're two entirely different things. Organic SEO doesn't cost money. PPC costs money. Well, maybe it does, but I'll leave the conspiracy theories to you guys to go over. But that's what's clear, is that organic SEO is something that you work at, not pay for. Paid SEO is an ad campaign. So Jeremiah also asks, why do so many SEOs claim to put your business at the top? And they all claim that. This is a great question. So how can we all be at the top, or is it the one that pays the most? And that's a great question. So I will answer that by saying that SEOs, they claim to put your business at the top. That's like trying to predict the weather, honestly. When it comes to developing an SEO strategy to get you at the top for a certain search result versus another, all there is strategy. They can claim that. They don't know that they can do that for certain. You should be wary of somebody that guarantees that they're going to get you higher in the search results. There are ways, including these, to get you higher, but certainly not to get you on page one. It depends on your strategy. It depends on what you're trying to go for. And as far as who is it that pays the most, let me say another thing just about paid campaigns versus organic SEO to help answer that question. And that is that paid SEO, getting the hundreds and thousands of dollars that are going into getting ads to go up in search results at the top of the page. I know that you guys are the same way as I am. When I type something into Google and something comes up that's a sponsored ad, I see that, and it's a little less credible to me than the organic search results, because I know it's an ad. I know it's been paid for. I know it's been put there by a company that's paying tons to get there, and I see it as less credible than the organic search results. They work. Obviously, ads work. It's getting you it's getting them in front of you. I see them, and sometimes I react to them. But for the most part, I still think there's a lot more merit in getting your organic SEO up there versus pouring a ton of money into trying to compete against people that are doing the same. So just making that distinction there. I hope that's answered your question, Jeremiah. Is there anything else that's come in, or we're doing good? All right, I'll give it just another minute, but yeah, again, thank you so much for joining me. I hope this has been of use to you. Even if this is a post-watched archive, I definitely welcome you to reach out to me with your questions at johan@harveyandsteele.co. And if you want, if you own a business, if you don't have the time to do this kind of thing, and if you're looking to develop an SEO strategy and see yourself grow online, I'd love to be there and the one to help you out. So yeah, get in touch with me and let's chat. So I think that's it for this time. Thank you again to the Rebel Society for tuning in. Hope you found this helpful. And I'll see you next time. You guys take care. Have a great day.